Today is Tuesday, April 21st, 2020. Today we will review our vocabulary words from last week. The two words we're reviewing are belligerently and exasperated. If you would like to see these words in a bigger size font, because it's an image and you can't double click on the words and highlight it, you can use the zoom feature. Go up to your toolbar. Find where it has a number with a percentage. I found it. When you put your cursor over it, it should say zoom. Click on it and then click on a higher percentage and it will zoom in and make the words bigger. First word, my turn first. Belligerently. Your turn. Belligerently, or the adjective form belligerent, or the noun form belligerent, means angry and aggressive or ready to fight. Example in the image, the rhinoceros is an animal that will be belligerent towards people who get too close to it in its home environment. Belligerent. Next word, my turn. Exasperated. Your turn. Exasperated means feeling irritated or annoyed. Other parts of speech are exasperation, which is the noun, exasperatedly, which is the adverb, or exasperate, which is the verb. Example from this image. This young girl looked exasperated and felt exasperated because she attempted 4 times to spell a word correctly and she still could not spell it correctly. So now she feels exasperated. The assignment for today is to answer these vocabulary questions. Remember, we're typing directly into the text box for your answer. 2 things to keep in mind. Read each one twice and flip the question. What do you mean by flip the question, Mr. Rojas? Flip the question means you turn your answer into a complete sentence, making sure to have all important parts of the question. What would happen if a player responded belligerently to a referee's call on the court? I'm going to start my answer with, if a player responded belligerently to a referee's call on the court, comma, and then I would continue answering my question. If a player responded belligerently to a referee's call on the court. Good. So I went back and I reread. And then I would answer the question. Now, let's say, for example, while I was typing this, I made a mistake, such as this. If a player responded belligerently to a referee call on the court, comma. Microsoft Google Docs does something to help you when you make mistakes. It makes this little red squiggly line. That means I probably misspelled a word. I'm going to go to this red squiggle line, highlight it. If the word doesn't show up correctly above, I'm going to use 2 fingers and click on the right side of my mouse pad. And then it will have the suggested spelling underneath. I want to say player, so I'm going to click on the word player, and now it is spelled correctly. Now I'll reread. If a player responded belligerent, oh, but I see up here it says belligerently. I need to use the belligerently form, the adverb form. I'm going to go back, add the ly. Now I'll reread. If a player responded belligerently to a I want to say referee. I see the red squiggle line. It means I made a mistake. Let me click on the right-hand side of the mouse pad, and I see the word spelled correctly. Referee. Call on the court. Now I'll go back and reread. If a player responded belligerently to a referee call on the court. I remember up here it says referees, apostrophe S. I'm going to add the apostrophe S here. Now let me go back and reread. If a player responded belligerently to a referee's call on the court, comma, and then I would type in the rest of my answer. So 2 things to keep in mind. 2 things. 1, when you're editing, read it multiple times before you think you're finished. we read it at least 3 times. And the second thing to keep in mind is if you make a mistake, you'll see a red squiggle line underneath the word. Click on the right-hand side of the mouse pad and click on the correct spelling of the word. When Mr. Rojas or any of your teachers are grading any of your assignments in Google Docs, there should not be anything misspelled because you are going and hunting for the red squiggle line to make sure that you spelled all the words correctly. As always, if you have any questions, meet me in office hours. Wash your hands, get rest, and I'll see you soon. Peace.